All right, now we are going to enter into the second part of this unit where we are going to go over inequalities. First, let's just review how do we turn equations into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is when it looks like y equals mx plus b. Here I need to get the y to be the only thing on that side, so I'm going to subtract the 4x, subtract 4x. I'll get negative y equals, I'm going to put the x first, negative 4x plus 10. I can't do 10 minus 4 because those are not like terms. Then I need to divide out that negative, so I'll get y equals positive 4x minus 10. And the question here says, how do you think we could put the inequality 4x minus y is less than or equal to 10 into slope-intercept form? I think that we can do the same exact steps. The only difference is I need to make sure that if I divide or multiply by a negative number, that I am flipping the inequality sign. So we will practice doing that later in this lesson. Like I said, today we will be learning how to rearrange inequalities so they are in slope-intercept form. Alright, let's just review turning equations into slope-intercept form. These are the easy practices. Let's do this one first. Get rid of the x, so the y is the only thing on that side. So I will have 3y equals, put the x first, negative x plus 6, since it's a positive 6. And now we have to get rid of that 3, so divide each term by 3. When I do that, I get y equals, there's a negative 1 in front of that x, so I'll put negative 1 over 3x. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2, plus 2. This would be my equation in slope-intercept form. Now I know what my slope is and I know what my y-intercept is. Let's try this second example. This is a you try, so actually pause the video and you try this one. You do. Alright, let's see. Get the y to be the only thing there, so to get rid of the x, let's subtract x from both sides. I'll have negative y equals negative x plus 3. And to get rid of that negative 1 in front of the y, we could divide each thing by negative 1. Now I'll get y equals negative 1 divided by negative 1, because there's an imaginary 1 right here, is just 1, so we'll just have x. And then 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. So here our slope is a number in front of x, that number is imaginary, it's a 1, and our y-intercept would be negative 3. Alright, these are all equations that were taken from different Regents exams, just so we can make sure we know how to do all types. These are medium level problems. Let's try these. Let's get that 27 on the other side, so subtract 27 from both sides. I'll have 3y equals 6x minus 27. And now to get rid of that 3, I'm going to have to divide each number by 3. And I'll get y equals 6 divided by 3 is 2, 2x. And negative 27 divided by 3 is negative 9. Nice job. Slope would be 2, and y-intercept would be negative 9. Now you pause the video and try this one. Get the 5y to be the only thing there, so I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides. It's a negative 5y. I can't do 40 minus 4x because they're not like terms, so I'm going to do negative 4x plus 40. And now divide out that negative 5. So I'll get y equals, what is negative 4 divided by negative 5? It will just be 4 over 5x. And 40 divided by negative 5 is negative 8. Okay, nice job. So our slope is a number next to our x. Our slope, our m value is 4 over 5. And our y-intercept is negative 8. And now the hardest version of this that we can be given, these are also Regents questions. Let's look at this you do problem. First side, leave it as y plus 7 for now, because I need to take care of my parentheses first. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x, and negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. And now I need to get rid of that positive 7, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. I get y equals negative 5x. 20 minus 7 is 13. And that is my final equation. And let's look at this other side. Again, do distributive property first. 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. 3 times y is 3y equals 12. To get rid of that negative 6x, I will add 6x to both sides. So I'll get 3y equals, I'm going to leave this 6x alone first, and then plus 12. And now let's divide out the 3. And I'll get y equals 2x plus 4. Good job. Alright, so now how are we going to do this with an inequality? First, what is the most important rule to remember when solving an inequality? We have to remember that when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you flip the sign. So when we are trying to get that y by itself, if there is a negative number attached to that y, either being multiplied by the y or being divided, to get rid of it, we will have to multiply or divide it, and then flip the inequality sign. Alright, so let's try this. Let's start with the easiest of problems. Same exact steps that we've been doing. First, we want to get that negative 2y by itself. So let's add x to both sides. When you add or subtract, nothing to do with the inequality sign. So I'll have negative 2y is greater than or equal to, put the x first, x plus 8. And now I need to get rid of that negative 2 by dividing. If I'm dividing by a negative 2, I need to flip my inequality symbol. And there's an imaginary 1 here. 1 divided by negative 2 is negative 1 over 2x. And 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. So this would be my final inequality. Not an equation, no more. And again, all these inequalities were taken from different regions questions. Let's try this one. To get rid of this 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x because I want my y term to be the only thing on the left side. Can't actually subtract those because they're not like terms, so I'll leave it as negative 2x plus 1. And now there's a negative 1 attached to this y being multiplied by this y. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. Oh, if I'm dividing by a negative number, if that number that I wrote multiple times is negative, I have to flip my inequality symbol. Negative 2 divided by negative 1 is a positive 2x, and 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. So this would be my final inequality. Here in this inequality, slope would be 2, and our y-intercept would be negative 1. Let's try some more medium level problems. Let's look at this problem right here. We need to get the y by itself, so to get rid of this 3x, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I will get 2y is less than or equal to, put the x first, negative 3x plus 14. And now to get rid of this 2, I have to divide each thing by 2. Because that number that I wrote multiple times is not negative, I don't have to flip my inequality symbol. Negative 3 divided by 2 is just negative 3 over 2x, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. This would be my final inequality. Slope is the number next to the x, and y-intercept is the constant, the number that's alone. And you try this very similar one. Pause the video and try it. It's very, very similar. Get that y by itself by subtracting the 3x. I will get 4y is greater than negative 3x plus 20. I can't do 20 minus 3. They're not like terms. And now to get rid of that 4, I'm going to divide each term by 4. I'm not dividing by a negative, so I don't have to flip my inequality symbol. Negative 3 divided by 4 is just negative 3 over 4x, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Nice job. And let's look at the last level, the challenge ones we can be given. Let's look at these challenge questions. I see distributive property. Let me do that first. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Okay, now I want to get this y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 4. I need to subtract it from the number that doesn't have an x, which is the 8, the constant. So I didn't multiply or divide by a negative number, so no need to flip the inequality symbol. And then 8 minus 4 is 4. This will be my final inequality. And now you do this problem. Okay, I need to get rid of this x. So then I would have 2y minus 4 is less than 0 plus x is just x. And then I need to get rid of this 4, so I could add 4 to both sides. So I'll get 2y is less than x plus 4. And now to get rid of the 2, I will divide each number by a positive 2, which means I don't need to flip my inequality symbol. 4 divided by 2 is 2. This would be my final inequality. And that is how we rearrange inequalities. Let's just look at a little throwback. Let's solve this multi-step equation. Let's make sure we remember how to solve, multi-step inequality. Leave the negative 3 alone. Now let's multiply negative 6 times 4 is negative 24x. Negative 6 times 6 is negative 36. Is greater than negative 111. Now combine like terms. Negative 3 minus 36 is negative 39. Which is greater than negative 111. Add 39 to both sides. I get negative 24x is greater than negative 111 plus 39 is negative 72. Divide by negative 24 to both sides. Because I'm dividing by a negative number, I need to flip my inequality symbol, and I will get 3. Let's remember how to graph this. Because this is just a less than symbol, we use an open circle, and because it's less than, we go to the left. And if they ask you what are possible numbers for this, you need to name all the numbers under 3. So it could be 2, 1, 0. You can't say 3 though because it's not less than or equal to 3. And that's just a little review on solving multi-step inequalities. And this was our lesson on making sure we know how to turn inequalities into slope-intercept form. We know how to rewrite them. Alrighty, that's it.